welcome back to the Drivers Room. We're in the Sunday League again today for the opening round of Season 6 in Tier 1, racing at Lago Maggiore E section in the new Alpine road car, the A110, I believe it's called. Quick grid walk today. Sticking it on pole is reigning Tier 1 champion Alex, running away with the championship last season with some new faces in Tier 1, including this guy, Comrade Mitsos in second today, our Tier 2 champion, recently promoted from last season. In third place today is Zefix Jack, excuse me, JJ Balding last season, moving over to the Zefix team. So quick draft into Tier 1 for this season, should be interesting to see how he gets on. In a fourth place is Flapjack, another good quali from Jack today. In fifth place we have Mungino, another solid quali from Tier 1 veteran. In sixth place we have Martin B. See if he can have an improved season. This previous DRSL champion. And in seventh place, not DRSL champion, myself, qualifying around the midfield today. In eighth place we have Drsl, another Tier 1 veteran. In ninth place we have Kuska, previous race winner in Tier 1. In 10th place we have Cafe Del Mar, only wildcard entries, rarely seen, but good to see him on the grid today. 11th place Mr. Drivers Room, MJR Mercer, just qualifying outside the top 10 after a solid season last season, which Harry does in Season 6. In 12th place is Mr. Sean, again another, I believe, a Tier 1 race winner, another solid driver nevertheless. 13th place John William Egan, quite a still relatively new face in the Drivers Room, only commentated on a handful of races of his so far. In 14th place is Coolio, again another Tier 1 front runner, he's qualifying towards the back today though. In 15th place Bullet, again another Tier 1 veteran, and at the back today Speed 140, yet another quick driver. So the opening round of Season 6, probably the toughest field I've seen so far in Tier 1. Let's get underway. So here we are then, about to get underway for the season opener, Season 6, Round 1, Tier 1. Alex, our Tier 1 champion, sticking it on pole for the opening race of the season. Got some very quick drivers behind him today, and we'll see how he gets on. Looks like he's got away very cleanly. I think Jack is bogged down there on the line a little bit, and Comrade Mitsos stays in second. Mungino and Flapjack do move up to third and fourth. A really good start from Mungino there. He's up to second on the graphic now. If you just take a look at the front as he's battling Mitsos through turns 1 and 2. Just around the outside, but he will have the inside of this left-hander coming up. We'll see if Mitsos can hang it around the outside to retire. I think there's a little bit of contact there, so a lot more body roll in these road cars. Does offer up some good racing, but Mungino holding on there to second place. Good start from Mung. Mitsos down to third. Flapjack retains fourth place as Jack falls down the grid a little bit in fifth place now. Myself up into sixth. Kuska running in seventh. Drsl in eighth, and as Cafe Del Mar's had a good start, he's up to eighth now, displacing Drsl down to ninth. Martin B's lost a place or two at the start there as well, down to 11th place. MJR Mercer in 12th. Bullet in 13th. As Mr. Sean and John William Egan side by side there. Another bit of door rubbing again. So I think drivers just have to give each other. I think John William just letting off the throttle there after that contact to let Mr. Sean back through. So yeah, a little bit more space than usual needed with these cars. And I think we've had an issue at the back there as Mitsos has fallen back through the grid. Jack up into third. So Mitsos has had an incident, slight crash somewhere. That has allowed Zefix's Jack up into third place, displacing Comrade Mitsos and Flapjack, who's down to fifth place now. So I'm still running in sixth, under pressure from Kuska into turn 1, and Kuska looks up the inside, gets a clean move done there, moves himself up to sixth place, myself down to seventh, under pressure from Drsl now. So myself qualifying 7th today, running in 7th at the moment, but Yeah, some very quick drivers throughout this field, and that looks like Drsl's had a better run out of turn 4 into this sweeping right-hander. Very difficult corner to get right in the braking zone, and Drsl slots himself up the inside and up into 7th place, and myself down to 8th now. Excuse me, and Martin in 9th, MJR Mercer in 10th, Coolio in 11th, all running very close together. Cafe Del Mar not that far behind, down to 12th now, so did have a good start. Looks like he's falling back through the grid a little bit. Bullet in 13th, John William Egan 14th, Mr. Shawn in 15th. I believe we've lost Speed 140 from the back. Quick run through the grid again. Alex in 1st, Mangino in a solid 2nd, Jack in 3rd, Mitsos in 4th, Flapjack in 5th, Kuska in 6th, Drsl 7th, Martin B in 8th place. So I think he's just displaced myself there around the final corner of lap 2. I do have the inside of turn 1 coming up. Oh, so Martin B a lot later on the brakes there, and just keeps that position for late braking into turn 1. Slots into 8th. Yes, myself down to 9th now, under pressure from Coolio. Cafe Del Mar up into 11th as MJR Mercer's just lost a place there. So Bullet right behind MJR Mercer now. A little bit further up the grid, we do have Comrade Mitsos putting 3rd place Jack under pressure. As we just come through these fast S sections, looks like Jack was a little bit deep into that initial start of this section. Yeah, Comrade Mitsos is really close. He just needs to time this right now and get a good slingshot out into probably one of the best overtaking opportunities on the track. If your timing is right, very heavy braking zone come up as he moves to the inside of the track. Don't think there's a lot ZFX Jack can really do here. He goes for a cutback, absolutely lights the tyres up trying to get the power down and just can't defend it. Comrade Mitsos comes through and up into 3rd place as ZFX Jack falling back to 4th place for the time being. Flapjack not far behind these guys at all. Any mistakes from the guys up front will be there to capitalise. Kuska running well in 6th now, Drsl in 7th, Martin B in 8th, myself in 9th, Coolio in 10th. A little bit deep into turn 1 there, may well come under pressure from Cafe Del Mar. It does collect it reasonably well there, keeps the power down and holds on to the final top 10 spot for now. But MJ Mercer not far behind, just opened up a little bit of a gap to Bullet again now. John William Egan closing up behind Bullet. Mr. Shawn's had a eventful opening start to this race by the looks of it. Bit of a gap back to 14th place, but hopefully can get back on the end of that battle and get some good racing in before this race is done. And just flicking back now to Cafe Del Mar, still putting Coolio under pressure, and I think he's just got the job done here as he's a car length in front going into the S's, and yeah, sweeps into 10th place here. Cafe Del Mar, so rarely seen driver, good to see him today, looking very, very racy in the Alpine. So displacing Coolio for now, and MJR Mercer again not far behind this battle at all. And a little bit further up the grid, you got Martin B not making too much ground on Drsl up ahead, and having overtaken me a lap or 2 before, finds himself under a little bit of pressure going into turn 1 as make the move stick that time. So a little bit later on the brakes there to move myself back up into 8th, Martin B back into 9th place for now. We're charging Cafe Del Mar, looking to put some pressure on some more drivers up ahead. Back with the lead of the race, Alex having a quiet one up front, just maintaining a really good gap to Mangino, and on 1:34.4, 1:34.3. Similar lap times for the top two. Looks like Mitsos is on a little bit of a charge now, as he's looking to close the gap up to Mungino in second place. So he's built a really good gap to Jack in fourth as well. There's two Jacks having a battle for fourth and fifth, with Flapjack seemingly closing the gap up a little bit. Zefix Jack going purple on this lap. Oh, and there's a bit of contact through the S's with Mungino. Mitsos says we just flicked back with Mungino holding on to second place there, so not too sure what happened. Positions being retained for now, but we'll stick with this little battle for a moment. As I think Mungino might just be safe into turn one here. Yeah, Mitsos not close enough at the moment, but yeah, a little bit of contact as Mitsos is looking to put the pressure on Mungino in second, and just flicking back. We've had a bit of action at the back here. Oh, that's Coolio running a little bit deep into turn one, but it just about holding on to that. And yeah, Coolio in all sorts of bother at the moment, and finds himself back in 14th place now. John William Egan looking, and lit up the rear tyres again there. So yeah, Coolio just having a bit of a rough patch of consistency at this stage of the race. Finds himself right at the back of the field now. Mr. Sean has closed that gap up to John William Egan in 13th, so as I say, hopefully get some racing in. So we just come up, getting close to the 10-minute mark now. And where has Mungino gone? Mungino is in 4th place. Let's take a quick look back, see what's happened there. So just around the start of lap 6 now, and pretty much as we flicks away from this battle, Mitsos closing the gap up again on the exit of turn 4. I think he might just force, is he close enough? Not really close enough into the braking zone. Turns out late, and what was that, a wheel on the grass from Mungino? Just about holds on to that, but is really deep through that corner. Mitsos comes through, and that looks like Jack, Zefix's Jack coming through as well. So that's where Mungino lost a couple of places. Very, very tight between 2nd and 5th at the moment. Comrade Mitsos coming through up into 2nd place now. Tier 2 champion, looking very at home in Tier 1 in this season opener. So Jack back up to 3rd place now. Mitsos, Mungino settling down back into 4th. Looks like he could be under pressure from Flapjack soon as well, unless he can get back up to speed and isn't hindered by any battles between Mitsos and Jack ahead. So 9.5 minutes gone now. See, I don't think he's close enough to make a move into turn 1. No, so we'll have a quick run through the grid. All this going on behind is really helping Alex out as well. He sets a personal best on that last lap of 1:34 flat. Comrade Mitsos needs to try and get the job done now. See if he can open up a gap to Zefix Jack behind and try and close the gap on the race leader. There's consistent times there from Zefix's Jack. 1:34 flats in the last 2 laps. 1:35.4 from Mungino in that last lap, losing out a bit of time and a couple of positions. Flapjack still running consistently in 5th place. Hasn't quite managed to trouble the guys ahead too much as of yet. Kuska running in a clean 6, has been for a while, since he got himself ahead of a few fights. So running consistently in 6th. Drsl maintaining a gap to Drsl in 7th, who is maintaining a gap to myself in 8th, having set my personal best on that last lap. So I think as these cars are getting lighter, obviously they're getting faster, and that seems to be compensating more for the tyre wear, as even though tyre wear is kicking in, these cars do seem to be getting quicker, as everyone seems to be setting personal best now. They might be running in 9th, Cafe Del Mar in 10th, MJR Mercer in 11th. We've got Bullet still doing enough to hold 12th position in front of John William Egan. Mr. Sean really close behind this battle now as well. We'll see how this pans out between these three drivers as the race goes on. I think that might well be a retirement from Coolio at the back. So Alex doing a good job out in front, but it's pretty comfortable. He's just been able to manage his pace. There's been a lot of battles developing behind, and there we go, 1 minute 33.7 from Mitsos on that last lap. Jack following closely behind as well with a 1:33.8, but yeah, Mitsos in clean air now, really starting to mount the charge as he's taken more than half a second out of Alex on that last lap. Not far off the halfway point of this race as well. These cars looking pretty comfortable for a one-stop strategy today, and just depends when these guys decide to pit, who goes for an overcut, who goes for an undercut. Oh, that's a half a second penalty there for Mitsos, which is a shame, as we do run a clean race bonus in the Sunday League, and that is the red dot of doom for Mitsos on lap 8, but nevertheless carries on and is still in a good position to mount the charge for the win of this race. And let's check the lap times now, see if Alex has responded at all. So there you go, 1:33.8 from Alex, so immediately responding to the pace set behind Mitsos in second. Jack again 1:33.6, so Jack definitely has the pace to challenge the leader today as well. These two could really do with working together a little bit, so to speak, as first place is still very much in sight today. So a quick run through the grid again. So that's the top three. Mangino in 4th place, maintaining a gap over Flapjack in 5th. Kuska and Drsl getting a little bit closer together now. So this is as close as Kuska and Drsl have been for a while. So Drsl looking to get on with the job. 34.4 on that last lap. Myself not that far behind either, going purple in that opening sector. But as these cars get lighter, I'm sure a lot of cars will be doing the same. And yeah, sorry, we just had a report of Flapjack getting closer to Mangino up ahead, and Mangino he's binned it through the S's. He's recovering now, but he's lost 4th place, and Kuska, Drsl and myself are coming through at full speed now, and I think that's Drsl taking, I think that was Drsl off track there for a second, taking evasive action. Red back end of the Alpine, but yeah, so Kuska making a place up there, moving up into 5th. Mangino still recovering, and him and myself diving into the pits on that lap. So really really bad incident for Mung there through the S's. You got MJ or Mercer carrying on for another lap. Most of the top guys carrying on for another lap as well. And looks like I've got the jump on Mangino in the pits there, so I've taken on a little bit less fuel. And Mangino unfortunately rejoining the race in 9th. Martin B rejoins in 10th. Cafe Del Mar in 11th. You got this group of cars behind, none of which choosing to pit on that lap. 13th, 14th and 15th still carrying on as they have been for a couple of laps now. And this might be an overtake. It was just about a flick away, but looks like John William Egan might get the job done here on Bullet. It's been following for a while now, showing on the graphic head. Bullet has the inside of this right-hander. It looks like John William Egan's got the job done there and up to 12th. A good move around the outside. So go to the leaders now. Must be coming up towards the end of their lap. We see who pits, who carries on. That looks like Alex is off into the pits there. 2nd and 3rd also. We'll see what Flapjack does. He's also into the pits. So we've got Kuska and Drsl also into the pits. MJ Almer's also not pitted yet. I imagine he'll dive in on this lap. So the puts me in 8th place at the moment coming through. See if we've got any sort of undercut done. and that is myself up into 5th place there. So the undercut pretty powerful today. Drsl rejoining in 6th, crucially just ahead of Mungino. Mungino must be absolutely kicking himself here now, but slots in behind Drsl. Might be up into 8th place now after that round of pit stops. Mr. Sean carrying on in 10th place, so he was in a battle with Bullet and John William Egan and going for another lap, so really good tyre wear again as usual from Mr. Sean. Kuska rejoining in 11th. I'm not too sure if Kuska's had an incident somewhere, but I'm pretty sure, I don't think he should be that far back. But, in 11th now, MJR Mercer out on the fresh rubber also in 12th. John William Egan and Bullet. Oh, looks like John William Egan's really underfueled actually, so that's why there's a really big gap between those two at the moment. They were pretty close together before that pit stop. John William Egan choosing whether he meant to or not, but he hasn't fueled, so he's got a fair bit of fuel saving to do towards the as the race goes on now. Bullet is in a position to close that gap. It's got Coolio definitely out of the race there. 17.5 minutes gone. Alex still leading the way and has a sizable gap over 2nd place Jack. So we have Jack in 2nd place. I don't know if that was a move done in the pit stops as well, but yeah, a little bit less fuel for Jack. So after that first round and last round of pit stops, Jack is in 2nd place. Mitsos in 3rd now. See if he can mount a charge again. Flapjack up into 4th after Mungino's incident. Out of fresh rubber, good to the end of the race now. Myself in 5th. A little bit less fuel than Drsl behind in 6th. Mungino in... Oh, as Mungino loses the back end out of turn 4. He's going to lose another couple of places here, I think. And there might be, comes through up to 7th. Cafe Del Mar in 8th. So... Again, I think Cafe Del Mar was running in around 10th place before those pit stops and is now moving him up into 7th as he gets a move done on Martin B through that right hander, turn 5 I believe, turns 5 and 6 if they are counted as 2, but this is still side by side with Martin coming up through the S's, as I think Martin just dropping back a little bit there to get a better line through the remainder of this section. But Cafe Del Mar, good race today, up to 7th place now. Might be down to 8th, under pressure from Mungino again as Mungino gets himself back up to speed. So Kuska up into 10th place, final top 10 position. So I think he had an incident on his in lap there, as he seems to be 5 or 6 seconds slower than most others on their in laps. And so Mr. Sean has pitted as well and is ahead of Bullet by some margin, so the overcut working to a certain extent there, but out of this 3-car battle, John William Egan is the man ahead, but as I say, does have a bit of fuel management to do until the end. So 20 minutes gone now as Alex goes purple on lap 13, or lap 12 sorry. Definitely stamping his authority early, sticking it on pole. It's led start to finish so far, pretty absolutely faultless drive at the moment. 2/3 of the race gone. Sefix's Jack in 2nd place now, just trying to mount a charge. There is a fair bit of field spread between the top 3 as it looks like was Mitsos getting it nearly wrong, nearly really wrong through the middle part of the S's, but keeping the speed up, maintaining 3rd position over Flapjack in 4th. So Flapjack, consistent race today, just needs to push on a bit and keep the pressure on. Should have a good tow through down the straight here. That's looks like Mitsos doing enough. Really good on the brakes into turn 1, maintaining that gap over 4th place. Myself still running in 5th place, just about maintaining a gap over Drsl in 6th. Cafe Del Mar in clean air in 7th as Sets his personal best on the last lap. Running well with 7, might be in 8th, just doing enough to hold off Mungino's fight back in 9th. As it looks like looks like Kuska may well be closing the gap up on these two up ahead. MJ Mercer in a bit of clean air now in 11th, steady race for Mercer. Don't even think there's a scratch on that car. John William Egan still running in 12th. Say nearly half the fuel Mercer has ahead. And around 8 minutes of this race left to go. So Mr. Sean running in 13th, 1 minute 35.5, 1 minute 35.2 from Bullet on that last lap. So he's setting his personal best. Might well close that gap up to Mr. Sean before this race finishes. As we'll just give the leader a bit of air time, but further back, sorry, just to flick through like that. I think Mungino has just got a move done on Martin B here through the last corner. Mung's got a lot of pace today, but just a couple of incidents. Seen him now fighting for what is 8th place, but comfortably up into 8th place now. Ahead of Martin B in 9th. So not too much fight in between the pair there. So Custer's still got his work cut out to catch those two up ahead. See if Martin B can make a fight, make a move into turn 5. Does take a look up the inside. Mungino hangs it round the outside for the late cut back, giving each other a bit of lag spike there. Both drivers giving each other enough space. I think Mungino's done enough to hold on to 8th place for now. So other than these two guys, the closest guys on track is this fight for 3rd position. So we will have another quick run through the grid. No, another quick run through the grid, and then we'll come back to this fight. So 1 minute 33.8 from Alex on that last lap. 1 minute 33.4. So Jack is clawing some time back slowly. Just over 5 minutes of this race left to go now. Mitsos hold on to 3rd place, weathering a fair bit of pressure from Flapjack in 4th. So 134.1 from Flapjack, 134.5. So 3rd and 4th looking comfortable to retain those positions. Myself holding a gap over Drsl in 6th, Cafe Del Mar in 7th, Mungino in 8th, Might be in 9th, Kuska in 10th, MJ Mercer 11th, John William Egan 12th, Mr. Sean 13th, Bullet in 14th, Coolio in 15th. Back to this fight for 3rd and 4th. Excuse me. Looks like Flapjack does have a penalty to get rid of, but I think you can do that pretty. Mitsos really untidy through the S's, same part of the S's again a few laps ago. This may well allow Flapjack a look into the final turn as he goes up the inside. As Mitsos does leave the door open there, and that is Flapjack up into 3rd place. So see if Mitsos can make a fight back straight away into turn 1, but he's had a poor exit. And that is Flapjack up into 3rd place. So again, good consistent drive, and finds himself in a podium spot at the moment. We'll stick with this fight for a second or two. Both cars taking a really extreme line through turn 4, so just got to be careful not to push the track limits too much. Oh, Flapjack is deep through turn 5, and that has allowed Mitsos back up into 3rd place there. So they go side by side through the S's here, giving each other enough space. But I think, yeah, Flapjack's yielding a little bit as they come to this next section, and yeah, Mitsos back up into 3rd place. Just needs to stay off of that grass on that part of the track. But oh, just about keeping the power down there. And Flapjack again on the inside of the last corner. Will Mitsos cut back with a better exit as 3rd and 4th changing hands again? So Flapjack up to 3rd place now. Mitsos right on his bumper into turn 1. We'll see if he makes a move as we jump on board with Comrade Mitsos. 3 minutes of this race left to go now. This final podium spot still up for grabs. So Flapjack just positioning his car. Oh, as he gets a little bit loose on the exit. That looks like a done deal for Flapjack at the moment. So battle for 3rd and 4th does carry on. We'll definitely have it. And as Flapjack goes deep through turn 5 again, pretty much a repeat of the lap before. I think he's got a bit more speed on the exit this time and does hold position into the S's as he goes critical on fuel as well. So that might well come into play, but for the time being, he is holding on to 3rd place. Mitsos right on his bumper. Might well be worth going on board again, but just needs to keep it neat and tidy through the final corner, which he does, and I think he's done enough to hold off Mitsos at the moment. But quick run through the grid again. Alex obviously still in 1st place, but look there, Jack has really closed the gap up now on 1st place. So minute and a half left to go. Alex has had absolutely, I say nothing to do, but he's had no one to worry about this entire race, and his mirrors are full with Zefix's Jack flying in that Alpine at the moment, going purple on lap 16 with really low 1 minute 33. Both obviously Jack really managing to have dropped 3rd place and 4th place, Flapjack and Mitsos. And less than a minute left to go now. This may well be the final lap, as yeah, 40 seconds. It's going to be quite close. I think this will be the final lap, and this could very well come down to the last corner. There's a little bit of a wiggle from Alex there, and he's a little bit untidy through the S's. This is going to spur Jack on, I think, and gets a really good exit out of the S's. Alex got one more corner to go. 10 seconds of this race left to go, and oh, there's a little bit of a look up the inside from Jack. There's contact, and in the last corner Jack takes the lead. Stewards may well need to look at that again, but this is the checkered flag, and Zefix Jack takes it in 1st, Alex in 2nd. What a finish to that race. Flapjack looks like he's done enough to hold off the charge of Mitsos, taking the last podium spot there. Mitsos in 4th, and myself in 5th there, ending out the top 5, just doing enough to hold off Drsl in 6th place. And a good run from Cafe Del Mar as well, picking up 7th place, as he looks to wipe out Mungino on the line there in 8th. Jev Kuska in 9th place, MJR Mercer rounding out the top 10 there. But yeah, what a finish, struggling to compute all that. That's Martin B bringing it home in 11th. I think ended up making an extra pit stop at the end, as well as John William Egan. Mr. Sean finishing in 12th, and looks like Bullet has pipped John William Egan to the line in 13th. John William Egan in 14th, Coolio in 15th. But yeah, I think John William Egan and Martin B taking an extra pit stop at the end there. But yeah, really interesting finish to that race with Jack taking the checkered flag. We'll have an update in round 2 for the official result. But yeah, that was the opening round of Season 6 Drivers Room Sunday League Tier 1. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.